So the LinkedIn posts are blowing up. Everybody wants to be an AI product manager these days. New jobs at Anthropic, OpenAI, Meta. These are just some of the big companies and even the smaller companies just popping off. Feels like the wave is still there, right? But here's a question nobody agrees on. How much of an AI background you need to have to be an AI product manager? Hopefully this helps. Before we get started, my name is Sully. I've led AI products used by millions of people over the last few years. I've interviewed dozens of people within the tech space, especially the product management space. And the truth is not that simple. So the assumption is simple. As an AI product manager, you need to know how to code. You need to have knowledge of backpropagation in a neural network. You need to be a part-time machine learning engineer, basically. And if you're not technical. You're out. So this makes a lot of people give up before they even try. But here's the twist. I've worked with so many great product managers, especially within the AI space, and the majority of them don't have a technical background. They come from design. They were former designers. They were former marketers. Sure, there were definitely a few engineers that were very technically smart, and that helped. But for the most part, the product managers that I've really enjoyed working with and have been great at their job did not come from an AI background, but were working on AI products. The reason for that is because to become an amazing product manager, you don't need to be a machine learning or AI expert, but you do need three key things. Firstly is very obvious. You need to understand the limits and capabilities of the product area you're working with, and have a nice high level understanding of how things operate. For example, a very basic machine learning concept, right? This is before Gen AI, before ChatGPT. A basic machine learning concept is your model is only as good as your data, right? This is something that, I would expect even a non-AI PM, even a 16-year-old high school kid to know that, if you feed in garbage data, the model is going to predict garbage output. If you feed in great data, there's a higher likelihood. It still might not give great predictions, but there's a higher likelihood that the model will give out a better prediction, just to oversimplify things. And a great example is your classic machine learning models here, like linear regressions or logistic regressions, random forests. These were like prediction classification models back in the day. I say back in the day before Gen AI. But a more relevant example might be LLMs. If you don't know what LLMs are, please Google it. It's going to be very relevant for you within the AI space if you want to go into it. So LLMs are large language models. They're derived from language models, originally LMs. But you should know that there's a likelihood of hallucinating, for example. This is common. This is with ChatGPT. But beyond that, you should have a high level understanding. Let's say if you want to work within the LLM space of what model training it is. How long does the average LLM take to train? Did you know it takes months sometimes? What is inference within the machine learning space, right? These are terms that you should just have a high level understanding of to get a lay of the land. Second is you need to frame problems the right way, right? Let me give you an example. Say you're a product manager for Instagram, and the user says, I want a more relevant feed. A regular PM might just say to engineering, hey, use data, use your magic, make this feed more relevant for a user. A technical or an AI product manager will go a step deeper, right? They're still not coding here, keep in mind. They'll go a step deeper into figuring out why a feed is not relevant. And a great example could be, we have a ranking model, for example, that ranks different videos for within an embedding space for different consumers. And then based on that, we rank what is the most likely of interest to this person. So this is actually a ranking problem, right? So when you write out a product spec, you try to solve a ranking problem. And then you can consult with your engineers, your data scientists, applied scientists, ML engineers, whatever you want to call them. I've worked with all, and there's little very blurry lines between the roles. And then you can figure out how to solution for it. But spending time on framing the problem clearly is very important. And so this is where jargon comes into play, right? Like in almost all my AI roles I've worked with, there has been, especially the ones where it's gone out to millions of users, we've had some sort of a ranker or some sort of a ranking model. which sort of ranks via probability how likely it is that somebody wants to see something or commit an action on an app or a web app or a website. And so having an understanding of this, definitely an asset in my opinion. Thirdly, the goal is to work fluently with ML teams or AI teams. Can you translate business problems to technical solutions and then technical solutions to impact? And by impact, usually it is from user needs. Right, there is a product manager out there, folks, that has no degree, the Peloton PM. And it's really great at communication, really great at their job, comes from a background where they've learned a lot of skills that were transferable. So that's just to put some things into context, because I think that's relevant here. Now, there is one or two exceptions where technical skills might be necessary. I'm going to list them out here. First one is if you're working in a very deep research team. Think foundational models, right? FMs, infra layers. In those places, you're closer to research and development, so knowing your stuff helps a lot. And generally, a lot of these product managers within that space do have former research-based backgrounds within the AI space. And then secondly, if your team only does research, there's no product that ever gets shipped to a business user, to a B2C user, to an actual consumer. It's always research. Then in this case, again, having a very, very strong technical background would be highly recommended. So you might be wondering, I'm not technical yet. Is it over for me? Absolutely not. I think these 2-3 tips that I'm going to say right now can help you get started on your journey. Couple I've already mentioned. For example, one is learning the overview, lay of the land, learning the jargon. My personal journey on this was essentially whenever I would read an article, or let's say I'd be on Hugging Face, or if I would be on the LLM playground, and I'd come across a term that I didn't understand, I would just Google the term. Well, nowadays I would probably ChatGPT it, but back in the day I would Google the term and then learn about what it was. And then other terms within that that I didn't understand, I would click into again. So, right, what's an ML model? Cool, a model does inference, I don't know what inference is. Click on inference. Oh, this is what inferencing is. So when a model predicts on something, okay, what do you mean by prediction? Click on that again. So go into this rabbit hole and start learning. And you'll quickly get a sense of the lay of the land. And then the second tip is, I'd say, and this one I highly recommend, build a mini AI project, right? It's really not hard to do with the rise of vibe coding these days. It's really not hard to do with so many APIs available. I guarantee you, if you put in 10 actual hours, researching on your own self, you could build out a very, very basic LLM product, right? Using an API which returns a response. Really not hard to do. You could create a Notion plugin that calls ChatGPT directly and just goes on from there. So the brutal truth, product managers just need to be good problem solvers, not great technical people. You already have people that you're paying lots of cash to do that. You need to know what's possible within the AI space. You need to push boundaries. You need to be able to shape the problem, like I just said. And also shipping fast helps a lot. Like I've been part of some data science teams where we've spent months and months on a problem, and at the end, there was no actual value to the user or the goal that we were trying to achieve. So being faster and being able to push people to deliver helps a lot. Try to obsess over impact, and if you have any thoughts, please feel free to leave in the comments. Appreciate folks watching. Thanks.